usually takes the form of these things called 287G agreements, which is basically an agreement with a local agency or a state agency to be part of these operations. We call it a task force model. And so you see some of the things that have happened recently, which I'll talk about, that gets integrated, and that ends up being a real force multiplier for that. Now, I had my agencies do it anyways, even without the legislation, but we still wanted to make sure that everyone was on the team. So that was one. The other one was we wanted to make it a state offense for someone to come into Florida illegally, especially people that have been deported previously. And we structured that a little bit different than what Texas did, because we knew that it would get challenged in court. And yeah, they found a judge, but we're this is on appeal. There'll be a lot of things that happen about that. I think ultimately will be vindicated, but we need to give tools to our own state law enforcement. I mean, you can't have a situation where if you have another president that views his role like Biden to not enforce the law, that somehow states are left defenseless and we can't do anything. I mean, think about this. What these people will say is the Constitution has a supremacy clause, and when the federal government's acting in accordance with the enumerated powers in the Constitution, that trumps what states want to do. And that's true as far as it goes. And so they say immigration is just about federal. Now, that would make sense if the feds were trying to enforce the law and the states were trying to sabotage that. Then yes, supremacy clause, right? You can't pass legislation that goes against what federal law is on an issue that the federal government has constitutional jurisdiction over. But that's actually not how they choose to apply that. In fact, it's the opposite. These same people who say states shouldn't be enforcing immigration law because it undermines the federal government's authority in this matter, they don't care that you have sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. Biden never did anything against sanctuary cities or sanctuary states, not at all. They thought that was fine. Those are all their folks that were doing it. So somehow this is developed. It's kind of like a heads they win, tails they lose. You know, if you have a president like Biden, he won't enforce immigration law. And then if the states step up and say, no, we are going to take federal immigration law and we are going to make sure that's upheld in our state, they'll say, oh, you can't do that. It violates the supremacy clause. But on the flip side, you have a president like President Trump who says, no, you know what? We got to enforce the laws on the books. We want to make sure that the people that are here lawfully. But then you have San Francisco or Los Angeles or California or some of these places that are sanctuary jurisdiction. Then some of these same people will say, oh, no, that's fine.